Hello, welcome to another Scraplift Crafternoon. This week we are lifting a gorgeous fall colored layout by Mel W Scrapping. Please make sure you check out her link in the description below my video and give her a shout out to watch her video. Hope you enjoy getting to know Mel a little bit more. She is a sweet lady. Love watching her work. So you guys make sure you check her out. So I also want to talk about what I'm going to do differently with this layout. This is Mel's beautiful layout. I know there's a little bit of glare on my iPad screen, but she did some stenciling, some layering of patterned paper. She's got some sequins. She's got, that looks like string. I'm not sure if it's not a die cut border with a bow. She's got some die cut hearts on her layout. This is such a gorgeous layout. So what I'm going to do differently, and the reason I'm going to do it differently is instead of stenciling, I'm actually going to use some stamping. And the reason for that is because I'm still playing a game on Facebook with Bash Your Scrapbook Stash. My team, the Scrapping Banshees, took round one. We have started round two, and we've got a new set of things that we're to include in layouts to get points. I'll show you those in a minute. They are sequins stamping, texture tiles, which they meant like ribbon, ribbon and lace, etc., and stickers. And they included thickers. So I've got all of these elements here for me to pick from for this layout, because I'm trying to make this layout work also for the game. But I want to give homage to Mel as well. So her layout's gorgeous. I am going to copy it pretty close, but I am going to do my own spin with the stamping rather than the stenciling. So let's get started. I have put Mel's layout up in the left-hand corner for you so that you can remember what I'm going for. I'm going to cut off all the branding strips to the pattern papers and do some paper tearing here at the beginning. I am using my October CKCB kit. I'm about to actually bash this kit. I had 35 sheets of paper in this kit this month, and I am down to, I think, 11 after this layout. My goal is to completely use up all of the Vicky Bouton Fernwood in my CKCB kit this month. I'm trying to use up all of the scraps as well as the full sheets of patterned paper. So I am trying to make sure that I grab the scraps, most of which are rather large at this point, as I work through any photos that I'm working with this month. I apologize for the bokeh that is running across my workspace. My table is right in front of a window, and in the afternoon I have to fight this bokeh or the weird pattern from the window, and I just chose to close the blind and deal with the blind bokeh versus the squares and the weird shadows from the window frame itself. I am tearing down the larger piece, and I'm going to mark where it's going to end up on the page because I want to make sure that I stamp above those lines. This stamp is really large, and my goal is to just have a little bit peeking out, but I covered the entire stamp, and I kind of went in about a ½ an inch on each side of the layout, top and bottom, to get the stamping to be continuous across the top. I did notice that I was having trouble getting the middle section of this stamp to actually imprint onto my page, despite the fact that I was using my little stamping press tool. I'm not sure what the deal was. Maybe my workspace isn't level. That's entirely possible. Luckily, most of that middle section is going to be covered with patterned paper on my layout, so you won't even notice it in the finished layout. I did spray some water on top of my stamping and then roll my paper towel, roll across it to blot off any excess ink left behind. I was hoping to get a little bit lighter impression than I got, but once it dried, I really like the stamping. I'm going to start adhering my layers of patterned paper. Now Mel cut borders that go on either side of her larger patterned paper, and I didn't do that. I didn't have any that I wanted to do that with. I wanted this full black background piece, and then I wanted a lighter piece on top of that. Now this particular piece of pattern paper wasn't my favorite. It reminds me of an old Maggie Holmes paper pad that I have still in my stash. I'm pretty sure I still have this particular piece of paper. It's funny to me that designs get repeated among the designers like that. I mean, it could almost be the same paper. I ended up deciding to only tear one of the long edges on the blue cloud paper, and so instead I brought in my distress tool and I distressed the other 3 edges. I am going to go ahead and adhere these layers as I work. I do like the cameras on the back side of that paper. I only have one sheet of it. I think my intention was that I would use the camera side of that sheet of paper, but both times I've used it, I've used the clouds. I think that's kind of ironic. Now this particular layer is to mimic, I believe it was a yellow piece behind Mel's photos, and it's going to go vertically up and down with the flowers on the bottom. I'm going to distress it, and then I'm going to go ahead and adhere it here. You're going to have to excuse my little helper here. He decided that he wanted to come and sit right on my workspace during this video. So I had to remove my helper from my workspace so I could continue working, because he eventually moved right across, right underneath the camera. So I adhere this green striped floral piece, and then I'm going to distress my photo just like I distress each layer of my pattern paper. This is a photo of my sister and I at Taugahannock Falls last September, a year ago September. I am doing a series of layouts on our day trip from that day, and this was just one of 3 stops that we made. Actually, we made a few more. I'm saying that the wineries that we stopped at was 1 stop, but we technically stopped, I think, at 3 wineries. So we had my husband as a driver, so we got to do wine tasting, and we really had a good time down in the Finger Lakes in New York that weekend. I am going to adhere my photo to this yellow pattern paper, and I'm going to cut it down, and then I'm going to distress the edges of this layer as well. My phone decided right here in the point of recording this video that its storage space was full, and so I had to stop and empty some of the previous videos off of my phone so I could continue recording. I'm glad that I heard the notification, or I would have been standing there and thinking I was recording and wasn't. So on this particular piece of pattern paper, I'm going to go ahead and use it to mat my photo. So the photo is going to be double matted at this point, and I'm going to distress the edges of this layer as well. I'm sure that you've noticed those burlap flowers that are kind of a rolled rose over there on the left hand side of my screen. I made those using some close to my heart burlap trim that I have had in my stash forever, and these Cosmo Cricut glue burrs that have also been in my stash forever. And I'm going to be using those to embellish my page. They're going to replace some of the hearts that Mel had on her layout. I am going to go ahead and adhere this double matted photo to my page now, and then I'm going to start the process of adding a title and embellishments. So first off, I'm going to peel off the backing from this glue burr. They're old and they're kind of stiff, and I get them on my page, but I have to do a lot of liquid glue around them on the edges because it doesn't look like they're going to hold. So I'm just going to put one on the left top corner and one on the right bottom corner. Mel said in her video that she had to create, I think, 7 embellishment clusters for the layout that she was working on. I think she was doing a project with another group or something. I'm not familiar with the group that she was working with, so I'm not going to have 7 embellishment clusters on my layout. I'm going to kind of just have 2 and a title cluster. I keep all of my alpha stickers, such as thickers. These aren't the name brand thickers, but they're the same size. They're a little taller than the thickers packaging, but I keep all of those type of alpha stickers in a 6x12 Ziploc bag for the simple reason because if I don't, I end up with letters everywhere because they don't stay on their backing. So it's a good way to keep the letters together. I'm going to pull off some phrase stickers that I had in my CKCB kit. These are from P13. They are travel related. They have some great little quotes on them, perfect for what I'm doing. I'm also going to add some of the layered Fernwood stickers. I had just opened that packaging and hadn't used any yet. This is another set of thickers. These go with the Fernwood collection. I'm going to pull a phrase and some other bits off of it. I'm going to tuck some of the flowers behind the layered flowers just to give some more dimension, and I will actually come in and glue all of those pieces with my quick dry glue. I am still trying to use this sequin mix from Anna at Peace Craft Love. I'm going to add some quick dry glue in the spots where I want the sequins to land, and then I'm going to use my jewel picker to get them onto the page. One of the things that I do off camera is I take a tag and I tuck it behind the layers on my photo for journaling, and I journal on it and I just tuck it back in there, and in the still shots at the end of the video you will see the journaling tag sticking out of the top. I am one of those scrapbookers that must have journaling on her layout, and so I just created hidden journaling on my layout. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel this afternoon. We really enjoyed scrap lifting Mel W. I hope that you check out the description below my video to see what everybody else has done with this layout. Here is my finished layout. Have a great Sunday afternoon. Bye.